This episode of the DJ Force X podcast is proudly sponsored by Fixed. Fixed is a fan and artist-friendly independent record label that specialises in hybrid electronic rock. It's home to the likes of Celduella, Blue Starly, I Will Never Be the Same, Richie Nix, The Algorithm, Voicians, See the Akira, and a whole bunch more. Check out their latest label sampler for just $1 at their official store, fixedstore.com. That's F-I-X-T store.com. Save 10% off your first order by using my coupon code FORCEX. That's F-O-R-C-E-X. They have loads of shirts, hoodies, stickers, posters, and many other accessories for all their artists, and this is available worldwide with fantastic international shipping rates to go with that. So head over to fixedstore.com and check them out. And don't forget, use my coupon code FORCEX. Hello and welcome to the DJ Force X podcast, episode 39. I welcome Jimmy, the drummer from Gears, to my show this week. They've currently got an EP out. It's been out for a little while. It's not that new, but it's called Pride Comes Before the Fall. That's out now. You can go check out their website, gearsofficial.com. They've also got a new lyric video for one of the tracks on there, which we do touch on in the interview, so I'll leave that for that. But this wasn't announced in the interview. They have just announced a tour in support of the band Trapped. They are going across the states from Mississippi all the way across via New Jersey, New York, Maine, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Pittsburgh, all those good places. But they're in support of Trapped on that. So go check them out on that tour. If you've got tickets already, awesome. If not, check out gearsofficial.com and find out a way to get tickets for those shows. There's about 10 plus dates on there, so yeah, check it out. It should be good. Apart from that, thank you for downloading previous shows. I've been brief on these intros, on those ones, just purely because I've been ill. I had a bit of strep throat that kind of knocked me out for a few weeks, but I've still managed to keep that weekly thing running, which has been awesome, and the reception has been great. I'd like people, if they're listening, to just go rate and review this show on iTunes or Stitcher. Basically either one. If you get it through iTunes, obviously just log into your iTunes account, go and find my podcast, which you've already done, and then just hit review and then leave a 5-star review and a few words. That would be awesome if you could do that. Same with Stitcher. If you get your podcast via that, if you're on Android devices, things like that, just go into Stitcher again, same deal, find my podcast, which you've already done, hit that 5-star review, write a line of praise or gibberish if you like. But I'm just after, that's my next step on this podcasting adventure that I am currently on. I'm closing in on 50 shows now. I've got like 10 more to hit. I've already got a couple of interviews in the bag, so I'm well on my way to getting there. I want to start getting some more reviews because I can see the subscription rate and all those kind of statistics go up, which is awesome. So I know people are listening. So hello and thank you. But yeah, if you can just spend a minute, 2 minutes, just to hit that rate and review button, and that would help this podcast so much because I'll be able to get more guests on here and it'll be able to give more coverage to the bands that I have on here. Because I notice people are going back and listening to earlier episodes, which, some are good, some are bad. My interview technique isn't quite down yet, but it's a learning curve. It's ever evolving, and I'm trying to get as many different types of bands on here, different genres, obviously different statures as well. So it's just that just helps them, it helps me, helps everything. Just keep going if you're enjoying what you're hearing and you're enjoying what the people I'm interviewing in this show. But yeah. That's pretty much it from me. I don't have anything else right now. I know I mentioned some plans in the previous one, like having a best of the week kind of thing. I'm kind of obsessed with Cutthroat Kitchen right now. If you've never seen that show, it's a cookery show. Currently on here on the cooking channel. And it's great. It's got Alton Brown as the host, and it's just about a bunch of chefs who compete against each other cooking, but then they can sabotage each chef in an auction setting, so they could buy like a huge whisk for a tiny bowl and just like prevent them from finishing their dish properly or the way they wanted, and just other stuff like that. It's a great show. Go check it out. I think that'll be my first recommendation on there. And actually, I'm going to go for the film as well. I saw it in the cinema, but I saw the Ultimate Edition. But Batman versus Superman, the new cut, the 3-hour long cut, is so much better than the original cut. It adds about half an hour's footage, which is great. And if you're well into your comic books like I am, and you know the kind of comic book lore behind it, you'll see all these like little bits that kind of make you tingle. You're like, oh, they're doing that. They're doing that. But it does make it. I mean, I enjoyed it first time round, the original theatrical cut. Don't get me wrong, I love that film. But there was something missing from it. And this just kind of fills in those gaps slightly, and it gives it more push into the Justice League area, which is going to be a fantastic film as well. But yeah, anyway, this is Jimmy from Gears. Enjoy. I would like to welcome Jimmy to my show this week. He is the drummer from Miami-based band Gears. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. How are you doing today?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Excellent.
Getting ready.
Excellent. How's the weather down in Miami at the moment?
I'm actually in Lexington, Kentucky. Our band kind of spread out. Got a couple guys out in Cali, and then now I'm in Lexington, and then singers in Miami. So we started the band in Miami. At the time when we started, we had a couple more guys that were in the band that were from down there. So, but it's evolved and changed, and we got different players now. So it's everybody's kind of started out.
Okay, all right, that's good to know. I just read your press release, so yeah, that's fine. So cool. So how's the weather in Kentucky right now?
It's beautiful today, man. It's beautiful. It's starting to get into the summer weather. It's not quite to the point where it's real dry and rowdy yet, but it's coming. Cool. They say here. Yeah. I'm not from here. My chick is from here, and there's a saying that first heard when I came here: if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. So.
Yeah, it sounds a bit like here in Florida. It's a bipolar. I think the weather is probably the correct term of using. We just had a tropical storm come through. So yeah, I was just talking to Tristan about that. They didn't get it too bad where they were, or it didn't really affect them. I used to live in Miami for a little while. When I lived down there, it was kind of funny because across the street, it's like the projects, man. But across the street, it was rain every day at like 4 o'clock for about 15 minutes. And it would be all muggy afterwards, but never inside the street. Okay, cool. So, Gears, from what I've read, you've had quite a sort of roller coaster journey up until now. I was wondering if you want to share that with my listeners to sort of give them a bit of background on the band and where you're at now. Yeah,
sure. The band started in February 2014. At the time, I reconnected with some old friends that I either toured with or toured with their bands, and I was touring with a different band at the time, and we met up at a couple festivals in Michigan and Ohio, I think, and then we were, those bands kind of ran their courses, and we were looking to put something together. So we all kind of got together, went down to Miami, and rented a house and built a little studio and started writing songs. And it came together really quickly at first. Everything really for the band has moved quickly. Started out, writing songs, and what are we gonna do? Oh, I guess we'll just make a record. So I called my buddy Corey Lowry and said, "Hey, man, you want to do the next Gears record?" And he said, "Book me a flight." And booked a flight. Came down here to act in like a week. And from the day that we got down here, I think it was like 10 days maybe. Tried everything and mixed it down and got it mastered from Rodney over Johnny Mills. master house, and it was ready to go out. So it was really quick. And then you finish your record, what do we do now? Oh well, let's just book a tour. So we booked a tour. We did our CD release party in Miami or Fort Lauderdale, and then when we were coming out of Florida, we got into an accident with a semi. Like 2 or 3 shows into the tour, it was brutal. So some of the gear was messed up. We mostly just our merch and CDs, those got destroyed. So we just had to replace those, and we went and any gear that we needed to do, and we didn't miss any shows on that tour. It was really lucky it happened, despite injuries and everybody. I remember we rolled into Jersey, where I'm originally from, and everybody's like, "Oh man, I see you're getting along with your bandmates again, Jimmy." My singer had like black eye, swollen nose, and I'm like, "No, that's not what you think." So it was kind of funny, but we just pushed on. Then we, of course, like any other band, you have number changes and stuff like that. See, the issue with our band, and it's kind of, a lot of times bands will go through 5, 6 members before they ever get on to where everything happened relatively quick for us, because we were all in different touring bands, and that's just how we make our living. We kind of had to grow on the road, and it just some things didn't match personalities. It's nothing that every band doesn't go through. So we've been through a couple guitar players, and we are on our second bass player, with this guy I've known for years. I used to be in a band called Mask, and he was in a band called Middle Mouth, and we had shows together and hung out, and we all had friends, and when I was living in LA. So that's a no-brainer. Once Tommy, the original bass left, I knew exactly who I wanted. So then guitar, we had this guy Bobby that was a mutual friend of Chris, and a friend Jim from 12 Gauge Embrace. He kind of offered this guy, and I was like, yes. We talked on the phone. Super cool guy. Unfortunately, he couldn't stay with the band because his parents had been, getting a little bit older, so he wants to, be there for them and take care of them, which is, super risky. Not a lot of guys can, put their life and their dreams on hold, to go do that, and it's a matter for him. So in comes Ethan, which was he was in a band with Chris, our bass player before, and everything's smooth sailing. Got a good group of guys. Everybody works hard, and everybody knows the goals, and it's kind of like a whatever it takes mentality, and in this today's industry, it's we don't run on $1 million budgets, we don't have the label support that maybe support that a lot of bands out there do, but we make it work.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, it's good to hear. I mean, because I'm from a musical background as well, so I know the struggle of trying to do multiple things at once, like trying to provide for yourself, but then fuel your passion at the same time, when that's not putting food on the table, if you will. So it's tough. The industry has changed so much. I mean, I started playing when I was super young, in the 90s, early 2000s, and it's kind of one of those things where I almost wish you didn't have the little bit of success you did, because now I'm ruined. I can't, there's no job that I can go to that's going to fulfill, that part of me. You get bit by the bug, so to speak. Yeah. So it's one of those things where, you do it at all costs. And, we have a really good, solid foundation with our families and everything. And, we're all very close with each other. And it's, I've said it a million times. It's like, it's not even, it's my brother, and we started this thing together. So it's not even really about trip. He's got kids, and I have kids, and, our families depend on each other to do everything we can to provide, So that's the biggest thing. It's just trying to maintain that balance and make all the right decisions, because God knows I can tell you which wrong ones to make. That's for sure. There are plenty of those. So cool. So you've got a new EP that came out last year. Pride Becomes Before the Fall is the title. You've released a couple of tracks off of it. The first one was Face Down. There was a video for that. And then you just released Takeaway. Is that, have I got that the right way around?
Yeah, we did a lyric videos for Takeaways came out, I don't know, maybe a month or two ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm getting ready to put out another lyric video here very shortly. So everybody for this day, because for me, this next song that's coming out, it's much more. I'm going to say it's the strongest lyrically. You know, the content in it is something that was, you know, when we were doing the record, this record with Ray in Atlanta. You know, it was during all the Ferguson stuff and all the rock hits and everything, and it's kind of, you know, it's going to hit people a little weird, I think, you know, because it's you get one side of everything, you know, Black Lives Matter, and you know, this whole movement, you know, towards the, you know, victims of police brutality, but it kind of on the other side of it is you don't know what's going through that. You know, police officers, you know, you don't know what's going through their mind when these situations are unfolding. You know, they don't have a whole lot of time to make a decision. Sometimes it's the wrong one, sometimes it's the right one. Mm-hmm. But in the media, you have, you know, in the middle, you have the media spinning it how they want you to look at it. Yep. You know, if it serves their purpose to crucify a couple of cops, that's what they'll do. If it serves their purpose to these victims of this brutality, you know, make them all look like gangbangers. That's what they do. Yeah. So it's, you know, it's a lot more to it than just a simple, you know, Facebook post that somebody rants about how all these cops are done wrong. Because let me tell you something, I was raised by a cop. You know what I mean? My grandfather was a cop for 30 some years. Yeah. And, you know, I couldn't imagine having to make decisions that day. And you never know. You know, some days you go in, you know, you get your coffee, you go do your job, and it's pretty uneventful. And then other days, you know, you may be with all kinds of different things, you know, that aren't necessarily so cut and dry or black and white, and nothing is an easy solution in that throughout the course of that day.
Yep. And it's that split-second decision that people don't realize that's the difficult one, because they've literally got to make it in a split second, and whether it's the right or the wrong decision, you know, either way they got to live with it. But having the one news source, I've noticed living here in the States, it's a lot more polarizing when you...
Wait, you're not from here? I thought you're from Jersey.
Not quite. But like seeing like the polarizing news broadcast, like the other day, like it's very strange. So
I mean, even to an impartial, you know, quote unquote impartial news media source or whatever, you know, get that. It's so much, you know, the human, you know, the way of humanity. You know, I can read something a certain way with my inflections and my dialect and my accent, and you know, we're doing the same words, but people take different away from it. You know what I mean? From all the conceived notions they have in their heads. Yeah. You know, so it's very tough. You know, I don't think it's easy for anyone to do news, but we all know that there are political agendas, and that's cool. You know, everybody wants to, you know, or they say, you know, freedom of speech stuff, but it's more of, you know, politics of content. You know, it's looking at, you know, how I can present something one way, and you know, 10 different people take 10 different, you know, things out of it. Yeah. Well, he upward reflected when he said this word, and you know, what's that supposed to mean? It's just like, man, it's so intense. And so, you know, everything's under the microscope, and it's so scrutinizing all the time.
It's everything is like like you say, under a microscope, and it's overanalyzed to a degree that's, you know, it just doesn't need to be. So, but so with your music, Are you on a label, or is it all self-produced? I didn't quite catch the...
No, we're all self-produced. It's DIY. You know, to be quite honest, I mean, there's not a whole lot. This is one good thing that technology is for, other than, giving you a $100,000 radio budget and paying off all the big stations to spin music. Like, a lot can get done on your own. And I'm a big, we have a tight little team of people that work, Chris Bianchi, our manager, and he's awesome. Our publicist, he's great. And, I like to work with, keeping my circle very small, because the more people that are involved, the more hands in the pockets, the harder it is to net, when you're building something. When you come from established bands that have been around long together, been together longer, have done more tours and stuff like that, and I have kind of a foundation built. It's a little bit easier, for us. We knew that when we decided not to do whatever we were doing before this, we knew it was going to be an uphill battle, and it's, you just try and do as much as you can by yourself. For, even taking it to a label, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times, you only get one shot with those people. So it's until the show is fluid and stable, it's really not one of those things that, we're not searching for a label, but we would listen to a label if they presented it with us. We're not 100% against it. There's certain things that we would need, which every band needs, obviously. You look for tour support, you look for a good distribution deal, you look for certain things, but it's just not where the band is now. Like, I don't see any label, because some labels that sign bands, and not all. There are some really great labels out there, but the smaller indies that they just kind of sign people in hopes to get some, and like something puts us into the upper echelon, and it only takes one band, you know what I mean, and Wind Up proved that. And with Reaper, I mean that they were the cash cow for that label for how long, so and that's what's cool about them is you get that one band, it increases revenue to where you can go after some bands that maybe you're more passionate about, or other styles of music. Because I think Creed was really like the lightest, quote unquote, this band on Wind Up, but obviously sold millions of records.
Yeah, no, that's very true. That's very true. So, what are the band's plans right now going forward? Have you got a tour lined up or anything? Or I know you say you're about to release a new lyric video. But is there anything going, any live shows coming forward from? Yeah,
we're going to do some shows here in July. I wouldn't really call it a tour because, it's not really a steady run of dates. We're just going out and we're hitting some markets that we haven't hit a little while. Some that we have. We're going to do some shows in mid to late July. Also, hopefully, we're going to shooting a video during the time. That's why it's not really focused on doing a tour. We want to do some shows just to kind of work the rust out. We haven't done it since February. Just kind of get out there and have fun and run, hopefully shoot some footage, video stuff, and then some photo shoots. There's a bunch of marketing to get done at that time. So it's better than just flying everybody in just to do photo shoots, play a couple of shows here and there. Then we're looking at a couple different things in August and September. But the lyric video, we're looking for a premiere right now. Like I said, our management and I mean, it's super cool, man. Like, that's one thing that is cool about lyric videos is we try to step it up to another level. And we always get compliments on our lyric videos. It's not just boring animations or anything like that. They usually have some kind of theme and some kind of basic idea, like brought to another level. We try to be really creative with them and really inventive with our designers and stuff like that. And the next one is definitely going to be very, very cool.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool, because I was just going to say, on lyric videos, I've seen them evolve from being, literal like lyric videos with just the words on the screen, like kind of like karaoke type video.
Eighth grade
to move on to having that kind of like an animated video almost, but just with the words in there. And that's what's really cool. Like I'm liking them now, like because I was a bit skeptical about lyric videos to start with. I thought it was kind of an easy way out because I always love watching like perform music videos. You know, whether it's a kind of like a mini story or the band playing live or whatever. But now seeing the evolution of the lyric video from its infancy now to a lot of bands doing it, and like yourselves using it as more of an artistic platform than just just to have a video out on YouTube,
Yeah, well, I mean, there's so much more you can do with it, and it enables a band like us that doesn't live in the same cities. We can get more media out to people, more frequently. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, if you think about it, we released the record November 11th or 12th of last year. And this will be our third lyric video coming out for it. So, most bands, do, a record and then they do maybe, 3 music videos in the way of doing things. They do maybe 2 or 3 music videos for the whole record. See, we have an EP and I want to do a lyric video for every single one of them. And then ultimately have them kind of connected and do like one long stream where people can stream the whole and see each, lyric video in context with it.
Yeah.
So, but it's also, I mean, man, don't get me wrong. I love shooting music videos. I think it's cool, but unless it's like footage from live shows, or like really, out of the box thinking creative storyline. I mean, how many more music videos and we did one in a warehouse, where the band's playing and then here's the band and here's the very intense look off into the distance on the drummer. It's like, oh, come the fuck on, man. Like, everybody's done it. Like, oh, and it's like you watch some of them and it's like, okay, countdown and warehouse scene in 5, 4, and there it is. There's the band playing in the house, or there's the band playing in this under a bridge, and it's just like,
Yeah, no, you're right. So
yeah. It's it sometimes you can't get away. Like, I mean, for us, we don't have a super crazy budget to add all these. We have so many ideas that we want to do, and why don't we take them to our designer? And they're like, yeah, it's going to be like $10,000, and I'm like, oh, cool. So we'll do this instead. But so I think lyric videos are a good way to avoid kind of falling into the same. Like our first video, although it was shot awesome, and it was cool that we did it in the CNC factory. It was cool to do that, but it was just like, here we are in a warehouse. So it's like, and it's good. I like to associate the visual of the band, but I'm just like, man, I rack my brain. How can we not do the video that everybody else does?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So, going on your live shows, who would you see as a good fit to tour with? Like, if your like dream band approached you or something, or who would that be? Who would you love to tour with?
Well, man, I don't know about a dream band or anything. Bands that I like and digging the hell out of and would love to go on tour with. I really like that band. I text Nothing More. They're killing it, man. I like those guys a lot.
Yeah, I interviewed Mark. It was last year. They were on tour with who was it?
They were out with Seven Dust for a while last year.
Shinedown.
Shinedown,
yeah. They played with Shinedown down in St. Pete, here in Florida, and really nice guys.
Which place was that at down there?
That was the Mahaffey Theatre.
Okay.
So it was one of the local radio station, rock station, like promoted shows kind of thing. So
right on.
But yeah, Nothing More. We're getting airplay with Jenny, and I think they were picked for that Shinedown tour because it was like a semi reunion for Shinedown as well because they hadn't played for 3 or 4 years. So. Anyway, I got to meet them and interview them on the bus, and it was really nice guys, and I really dig that album as well.
Yeah, it was great. When we were doing the first record, Set in Motion, Corey was like, he knew that because Clint, his brother, is in Seven Dust, he knew that the band Nothing More was going to be going out, and he's like, dude, you got to check these guys out. They are going to blow up. Corey's got an ear, man. He put it on in my car one day. We were driving somewhere there down in Miami, and I was like, who is this? And he's like, this is that band I was telling you about. Man, these guys are really good because I like stuff that, I'm not a rock guy. I like stuff that's interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And especially, you know, with the rhythms, you know, with the rhythm section, the bass player and the drums, and the bass player is a big monster. The first drummer they had was really good. This new drummer they have, I saw a couple of videos of him. He's killer. But yeah, so it was a good, but the good is, you know, it brought everything together. And then like the balance, the first song came out, holy shit, these guys are killing.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, serious, you know, driving down the street, that song's on all the time, and it's really cool to see a band, you know, kind of behind the scenes, like knowing someone, you know, with being in the industry, you know, knowing about a band and like getting behind them from the first time that you heard their music and watch achieve, you know, notoriety and widespread, you know, kind of success, you know, in quotes, of course, is awesome. So, I mean, there's so many good bands out there. I would go Bring Horizon and my boy Maxwell, and hell yeah, I would love to do something with them. Seven Dust, of course. You know, those are like my kind of, you know, tours that I would like to do, because I want to see my boys play every night. You know, kind of stuff. Seeing Sonya would be cool, because it would be cool to work with Corey again after so many years, and him being so involved in this project with any, you know, there's so many bands. There's no tour that I would like turn down ever. You know what I mean? It's like I was built that way. It's like, you know, on the road.
Yeah. Cool. So, yeah, I've got a couple of questions left now, and then I'll leave you to get on with your day. So it's basically it's a couple more questions about yourself. 3 albums that define the musician that you are, or the person that you are. So, yeah, 3 albums that you can kind of like pinpoint that said, okay, this is the help me on the path to where I am now. All
right. Led Zeppelin 2.
Yep.
For sure. First time I heard those drums, man, on a record that I had read in like the attic or something, that was killer at my grandparents' place. I was when I was like 9, and that somehow I found a bunch of records up there. Definitely that one, Led Zeppelin 2. For theatrics, I kind of fell into this time where I just have to play like theatrical and like, you know, industrial rock, you know, that kind of thing. So definitely Aladdin Sane, cool. David Bowie.
Nice.
That was a killer record. Like the drums on it were just so dry. I mean, I love those old sounds where it wasn't so compressed, and it's kind of industry standard to, you know, you go in and, you know, it doesn't matter how good a drummer are, you know, your drums are getting gritted and, you know, everything's going to be in a perfect line. Man, I feel like some of that human, you know, movement in between the clicks is kind of what makes, you know, some records grooves as well as they do.
Yeah.
And number 3, the first real new metal record that I heard, I guess my number 3 is going to actually have to be part A and part B. Okay. Part A, Deftones. That was the first thing that I heard that was so like metal-ish, the West Coast kind of sounds coming in. And then part B was Among Us, which was, became Incubus. I heard their first EP. And wow, this is really cool, because again, it gets back to that interesting part about how the music doesn't always line up. You know, you just put the 1 and 3 and the 2s and the kicks and snares, turn around a little bit on there's crazy amount of groove, and Brandon's voice, you know, in those, you know, he's just amazing. Yeah. So that would have to be my 1, 2, 3A and 3B.
I like the way you got around that one, so it's nice. No, those are all great albums. I mean, I love Zeppelin, Bowie, and Deftones. I've said before on my show is one of the bands that kind of pull me back into the sort of more of the heavier rock and metal side of things. Because as a kid, I kind of grew up listening to Maiden, Guns N' Roses, stuff like that, and then kind of went into this kind of like Britpop indie rock type scene. So bands like Oasis and Blur, kind of like along the sort of like UK bands, that Stone Roses, things like that, if you've heard of them. And then one of my friends played me that first Deftones album when I was like, I think it must have been about 15 or 16. And just totally sucked me back in. And that like with yourself, got me into like Incubus, and kind of just rolled into that whole era there of bands that
man, people think new metal is such a bad like rap, but I mean, like, think about it. I mean, that stage of metal sold like so many records and really crossed. I mean, they kind of pushed the envelope, you know, as newer bands come along, you know, like for example, Alice Cooper, when he first came out, he was like the Damned and he was like, the worst. And then you get Marilyn Manson that pushes the envelope a little further to where Alice Cooper is more. I mean, I think each band that comes after their predecessor kind of paves the river in reverse for a wide stream, you know, consumption, don't you? I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, it's like, yeah, that's the worst thing in the world. And then, no, this is the worst thing. So let's go back and listen to this, you know, like Kiss. Like, if you listen to Kiss, it's party rock, man. Yeah. It's not dark or, you know, hateful or anything like that. But would we ever, you know, it just, you know, I don't know if it's the desensitization of society or what. But I mean,
I think, like you say, it's just the generation that comes after that is pushing the envelope more. Because, like you say, look at Alice Cooper and you look at Marilyn Manson, you know, off the face of it, you think, oh, well, he's copying him. But you go in more into Marilyn Manson's kind of like mannerisms and lyrical content and stage show as well. Whereas Alice Cooper kind of, you know, he had a shocking stage show. Manson took it that bit further and, you know, just added his twist to it. And then, like you say, with new metal, that was the sort of last real, like, rock side of things that really sold in mass consumption. Like bands like Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park, just like in the UK specifically. I mean, Limp Bizkit went to #1 with Rolling in the charts and things. And that was like unheard of at the time. It was like, oh my God, what's happening? You know, and me being, you know, 21 years old, a DJ in a nightclub kind of thing, playing these songs out and people dancing to them and stuff like that. It was crazy. And then as more of those bands came out, it became more, you know, mainstream, commercially viable, whatever you want to, you know, call it. But, you know, there are a lot of bands that have survived that era as well, that people still, you know, they've got more of a respect for them because they've survived that long. You know, like bands that come, Deftones still going, producing amazing music. You got Korn as well, who kind of reinvent themselves every so often, but then they've kind of gone back to, you know, their kind of root sound. And they're still playing, you know, huge shows.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. It's everybody asks, you know, who's going to be the rock star of the rock stars, what group of bands are going to usher into, you know, the 2020s. And it's like, you know, you don't know because, you know, it's not the same. Like that new metal era was really the last set of bands that sold records before, you know, the digital downloading and streaming came across. And, you know, so many great bands out there, you know, aren't going to be able to, you know, finish what they started because they don't have the financial support of record sales. You know, it's really a shame. Yeah. But I can imagine what you were saying with Roland, man. I can imagine you like sitting like in a DJ booth in the nightclub being like, wait, I'm playing Robbie Williams and people are still dancing. This is great.
Yeah, it was like that for a bit. And then like rock clubs have always kind of been a thing in the UK. Not so much here. It's really strange, but that we've got one of like where I used to live, have one of the longest running rock nightclubs every Saturday night, and they just play nothing but metal with, you know, different various styles. But then after that, I actually had a residency in a rock club for about 10 years. So I'm sort of, you know, I can credit new metal for me getting that work because that's the music that people wanted to hear, and that's the music people came to hear and dance to and all that kind of stuff. So
that's so interesting.
You know, and obviously you can play some of the classics as well. You know, you can go back to the 80s and 70s, you know, in playing those music. Like you can play Kiss still, and people would still dance, but they want to hear the heavier stuff. So you got Slipknot, you've got, you know, Lamb of God, you've got I'm pulling names out of my head. You know, all these like huge bands. Obviously, there was a bunch of UK bands I played as well that did well. So it's you know, now, you know, it's nice living over here and seeing British bands still make it through. Like you said, with Bring Me the Horizon, you know, a band I've known of for a long time. They even played with my band at one point. And, you know, seeing them come over here, getting radio play, playing huge shows, bands Warped Tour, all that kind of stuff. And like Bullet for My Valentine as well. and Young Guns, the other ones as well. That just three bands that I've known from my musical past, you know, breaking over here and getting all those, getting around and getting played and everything. So
it's so cool to think, like, you know, about, you know, you always want to be, you know, you always want to support the underdog, you know, and to hear about, it's really cool when, you know, your friends' bands are having so much success. So I know, you know, you kind of feel like, you know, damn, good for them, you know. It's very cool, very cool. Yeah. But I can't get past, like, the idea, because it's not like really in the States. I mean, you can go to, you know, Duff's in Brooklyn or like the Rainbow in LA and you know, jukeboxes playing, you know, and all these rock. But I can't imagine going into a club here and watching people actually dance to, like, Slipknot or something like that. That's just something that doesn't happen here, you know. And I just it's kind of cool, you know. I wish there was more places like that here. You know?
Yeah, no, I looked into it when I moved here because it was something I did back in the UK, but I have a radio show now, so I kind of keep my DJing on that. But I looked into some of the local clubs, but none of them were really interested in the idea and didn't feel it would work. So I was like, okay, you know, I'll transfer to radio. But yeah, if you ever make it over to the UK, you know, there are plenty, no matter where you go, London, even north of London, Nottingham, even in Scotland, there are rock clubs every weekend. So
that's cool.
So yeah, if you ever get over there, you can go check them out and see what's...
If I go over there, better because I'm playing shows. I don't like to go out of the States too much.
Yeah. Cool. So what are your hobbies away from music? So when you're not playing drums or writing music or anything, what do you do to kind of, you know, unwind?
Just kind of hang out with the family, like hang out with my chick and kids and dogs. You can hear them if you listen. They're both two of the four next to me snoring. So, yeah, I mean, if you know, a lot of times, one cool thing about Lexington, like, it's quiet here. You know, it's not like when I lived in LA and you know, there's always stuff to go out and do and everything. There's not a whole lot to do here, so it kind of keeps you out of trouble a little bit. And you know, it's quiet and just not really much, man. Walk my dogs and go to the gym and, you know, hang out with the kids. That's a full-time job in itself, you know. 16 and a 12-year-old and, you know, go here or there. You know, one of them's there across, you know, practice or camp for the week. So that's, you know, back and forth. Take him, and then our 16-year-old just got her first job, so he's working at Harley, which is pretty awesome. So
nice.
Take him back and forth, but other than that, man, it's pretty low key. It's Lexington's pretty centrally located. Though I'm like an hour and a half away from like four pretty good rock towns: Louisville and Cincinnati and Dayton, Ohio.
Nice.
You know, so I can, you know, on the rare occasion that me and the wife do go somewhere, we just, you know, run out, and it's cool. A lot of times I don't get to see, with touring and recording schedule, friends when they're musicians, don't see each other except when they come through or when you come through. So that's a good thing about that.
Cool. So just finally, where can people reach Gears? Where online and things like that? Yeah,
we got our website, official.com. That has everything. You know, it's basically gearsofficial.com/gearsofficial. YouTube is Gear and Official. And you can check it out there. Like I said, very shortly here within the next couple of weeks, we'll hopefully be premiering the new lyric video. I'm really anxious to get it, but I'm kind of, you know, we're just holding back, you know, who wants to work with the premiere and, you know, get it to as many people as possible. You know, that's the big thing for us. Like I said, you know, it's hard to do when you're doing everything yourself with a small team. So we try to make every decision count.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you for your time, Jimmy. Good luck with the next lyric video. If anyone wants to go check out the music now, it's on Spotify. If they want to stream it, it's on Apple Music. You can buy it. Do you have buy it directly from your website?
But no, iTunes right now.
iTunes right now. Okay.
We're going to be doing a limited edition stuff coming up soon to go out on the road with, where there's going to be CDs that you only get from, you know, the tour. We're going to have cool custom USB drives that you know will have both records on it. There's some cool stuff that you can And hopefully when we come through your area in Tampa, because I mean, Orlando to Tampa to to Miami, our regular route when we go down there. So hopefully we'll get to hang out in person.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I'll keep an eye out. And but yeah, no, that sounds like a plan. That'd be good. Because I really like the EP itself as well. I got a couple of tracks I've been playing on my radio show. So people would have already heard you already because I would have played it. Awesome. But yeah, if they want to go check it out, it's called Pride Becomes Before the Fall. And it's out and available now. So cool. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you so much, man.
Again.
Thank you for support.
And no problem at all. Thank you for making the music. That's thank you for doing that, and and I dig it, so it's all good.
Thanks, brother.
All right, cool, man. Thank you, and have a good rest of your day. And I'm sure we'll speak soon.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Thank you.
See you, man.
Bye.